evening, and welcome to another episode of Confidence Culture Conversations. And as always, you have two amazing hosts. I am Elizabeth Olujimi, aka the Thriving Coach, and my amazing co-host.
My name is Kirubai, and I am the Holistic Transformational Coach. And together,
Holistic Transformational Coach. Kirubai, you didn't have holistic under your title last week. What's changed?
okay. So you want me to talk about my little personal transformation that I've got? Okay. Well, Elizabeth, I have been helping a lot of women with their inner healing and talking about working the inwards. I call myself transformational coach inside out, so I'm
Mm,
going through so I'm now I thought, and I gave a I gave much thought on what I need to call myself. So I'm doing a lot of work in the body, which is outward, personal branding and styling. And then in the mind, of course, we're doing a self leadership. We're talking a lot about leadership,
mhm.
and the spirit is inner healing. Because so I just brought this whole thing a culmination of a holistic approach to men and women. I must say I've not done any one-on-one for inner healing for men.
Okay.
Maybe it's something. Maybe in the later stages of my life, I might work with some men, but at the moment it's all ladies who have relationship problems and not being able to relate in family situations. And it's very interesting because it also keeps me on my toes, checking my personal life whether I'm right with God and with my husband.
So
So
making sure
yeah,
you're
so
right with
that's why.
God and with your husband. Okay, okay.
Yeah, and of course with people around you, but more so with God and with what is how your relationship, because it is important that as women, if we are in a relationship, we have to be right with God and with our husbands.
Well, for those of us
So
that are
I
married, yeah.
seem to be having a lot of women. I have actually three clients with women who have issues with their marriage.
Mm.
So if God can use me in this area, so be it. I yield myself to him. So that's what, come on, Elizabeth, that's what's been happening to me. And I've been in a very low place this week because I was feeling sick.
Mm.
So yeah, just resting and see where, we don't recuperate as quick as before now. So take me 1 week to feel myself. So I should be up and about tomorrow. But you know what? Nothing can deter me from coming on to this podcast and talking about dreams. Elizabeth, so what has been happening to you? I've not seen you like 2 weeks now.
Oh my days. Yeah, it's been a while, hasn't it? So last week we couldn't have our session
That's right.
because I think we were both out of the house. I was at the airport seeing my mum off as she went on a trip to Uganda. And I think, Kirubai, you were at a women's meeting, right?
Yes, I went for a women's conference. That's right.
Absolutely. So sadly, we couldn't show up on here, but there were enough episodes for people to binge watch on our different pages, so that's okay. But yeah, it's been an amazing 2 weeks where I have been wearing my different hats of mother, wife, daughter, um, pastor, even speaker. So it's been very interesting. On Saturday, I was in Tower Hamlets delivering a session on confidence, but particularly tying it to us being confident to look after ourselves and to speak up when it comes to health matters. So there's a project that has been going on in Tower Hamlets for about 16 weeks, and it was the final session. So I was invited to come in and deliver a talk. So that was good. And then on Sunday, I had the pleasure of speaking at church. and
Wonderful.
it was amazing. God showed up. God showed up. I mean, it is church, so you expect him to show up anyway. But it's the thing of coming with expectation as we come into God's presence. And do you know what? It's interesting because I think wherever we go, we have to have an expectation. When you wake up in the morning, you have to have an expectation. When you step out
Yes.
of a dream, you have to have an expectation. And as I started to speak on Sunday, one of the things I asked the congregation was, why did you come to church today? And I literally just said, can you take a moment to reflect on that? Why did you come to church today? Because it's important that we're not doing things out of routine. We're not doing things just for the sake of doing them, but we're doing them with passion. We're doing them with conviction. We're doing them because there's an expectation. So as you go somewhere, as you show up somewhere, what is the expectation that you're going with? Because your expectation determines your posture. As you step out to put your dream to the test, what is your expectation? Are you expecting that it's going to fail? It's going to be successful? What are you expecting? Opportunities are going to come, doors are going to open, because that's going to determine the rate at which you are moving. It's going to determine your attitude. It's going to determine a lot of things. So I'm excited for the conversation we're having today because we are back on Put Your Dream to the Test. It's a book by John Maxwell. For those that are joining us for the first time, and maybe you don't know, but myself and Kirubai, we are both certified with the Maxwell leadership team. So we coach, we speak, we facilitate workshops around some of John Maxwell's books. And one of the books that we enjoy working with, Put Your Dream to the Test. Now, Put Your Dream to the Test, I recommend it, especially if you have a business idea, or even you are currently in business, or there's something you're working on. You have a vision and you want to bring it to life. I recommend the book. I highly recommend it. And in addition to, I guess, running sessions on the book, we also offer coaching around the different issues discussed in the book. So our conversation today is going to focus on two questions. Last week we did the first two questions. So if you missed last week, please, on our YouTube pages, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, you can find last week's episode. But don't go away now.
Episode 85. Is it episode 85?
It was episode 80 something. Good
I
question.
think today's is 86.
Today's 87, Kirubai.
Oh, 80. So it must be 86.
Today is 87. Yes, today is
Okay.
87. So episode 86 you would be looking for, and that was Put Your Dream to the Test. Let's say it was part 1. Today we are on part 2. And today we are looking at two questions. The reality question, am I depending on factors within my control to achieve my dream? And the passion question, which is probably one of my favorite, does my dream compel me to follow it? So,
Exactly.
if you know someone who has a dream and they're not watching right now, take a moment, send them the link, share it. Go on, share it, and invite them so that they can come and be part of the conversation. Right. I'm taking a back seat now. Over to you, Kirubai.
So the question of reality your dream should not start as a reality. It's supposed to be fantastic, incredible, out of the box. So it has to be big, audacious dream.
Hmm.
Sometimes you might sit back and think, oh, this dream is so big. How am I going to achieve it? Because Elizabeth and I are women of faith, we believe the dream was not put into you simply. It was put there by God because God has already packaged all the things that you need to bring the need of the dream to come through.
Mm.
So this is, I think, Elizabeth, you attest to this. You firmly believe the dream was is like a seed planted within you, and so so it will definitely become a reality. In the natural, it will come into being real. But as a person, there are few steps that you need to take to birth it as reality, because if not, it's just going to be pie in the sky,
Mm.
but it has to be real. So it could be how big the dream. I believe God will bring the right people to help you fulfill the dream.
Mm.
So it has to start with the law of least effect. So the dream that is within you, there is an extent of strength God gives you to kickstart that dream. But to kickstart that dream, you also need other components to make it a reality.
Mm-hmm.
So, like time management, like goal setting,
Mm-hmm.
and most of all, being consistent. We lose track. It is so important to get this dream rolled out. You need to be consistently working on that dream. But consistent can be also praying over your dream.
Mm.
It's so important to pray and take it to the Lord and say, Lord, I surrender this dream to you. And I know it is from you. So help me to unveil this dream in the reality.
Mm.
So I know one of the things is in that dream, we also need to set um, real goals. You have to set real goals. Goal setting, I know Elizabeth is very good at goal setting. Realistic goals have to be placed for us to roll out this dream.
Mm.
So, Elizabeth, would you like to share a little bit about goal setting on how to bring the dream to reality? A lot of tongue twisters today. Reality, good dreams.
No, do you know what? Like you said, every dream starts somewhere, isn't it? And anything you can think of in this world, it started somewhere. It
Mhm.
started somewhere. And when you mentioned about like our dream being like a seed, like that seed in itself has a lot of potential. But it's in most instances, it's this small seed that you're starting with. But it has the potential to grow. It has the potential to flourish. It has the potential to blossom and bring out this amazing result and bring out fruit. But it starts somewhere. So when you want to start working on your dream, yes, your dream has to be big. Your dream has to be like your dream is not your current situation. It's not. It stretches you beyond your current situation. So when we think of our dreams, don't limit your dream to your current situation. And don't limit your dream to your current level of growth. You have to be willing to stretch yourself to grow into the person that achieves that dream. So your dream is not limited by where you are right now. It's not limited by your pocket today. Yes, as you're starting off, you're looking at, I don't have this, I don't have that, I don't have enough resources. But actually, what resource do you have? That's a seed. How can you grow that seed? How can you make that resource work? Is where you have to look. Now, it's not about, it's a thing of lack, because there's a lot of people out there that think, there's lack to this thing. And when I say lack, I'm talking LUCK, right? Like good luck, No, no, no. There has to be action. There has to be action to your dream. In order for your dream to become a reality, it's not just you sit there and you dream about it. You wake up, has it happened? Has it become a reality? You go back to sleep, has it become a reality? No, there has to be action that you are consistently taking. So when we talk about the goal setting, you set yourself some actions, some tasks, some things that you must do in order to start making your dream a reality, in order to start working towards making your dream a reality. So you set yourself some tasks. What can I do today to get me a step closer to my dream? Yes, my life today does not look like my dream. In fact, I don't have the money to afford my dream right now. But what can I do today? Can I listen to a podcast that will give me more knowledge? Can I going to a networking meeting where I can meet people that I can connect with who are in the same environment that I'm trying to get into for my dream. Like, what can I do to think beyond where you are? That's what your dream should do. It should provoke you. It should provoke you to stretch in your mind, in your thoughts, in your thinking, in your speaking. It should stretch you.
So I like that point you're saying, stretch. So, and also the fact that, it is a new avenue of learning. You might not have ever done those things, but seeking knowledge in those areas is very, very important
Mhm.
to work on your dream.
Absolutely, absolutely, and just on that point, Kirubai. So when I decided I wanted to start a coaching business,
Hmm.
I had never professionally done coaching. So I went on. I think it was Read. I went on Read, which is a recruitment site, and they had some little certifications that you could do. I found a nice, cheap, and cheerful certification that actually meant at the end of it, I have a diploma in life coaching. And it was an online course. And the reason why I took that course was so I could open my eyes. So it was just a small investment to say, what is this thing that I'm trying to get into? And actually, it was worth it. It was only £10. It was worth it. I
Yeah.
got a certificate. I've got a diploma in life coaching through that. But it was just something to open my eyes, give me a bit of theory, so that I could start running.
Mm,
It was
yeah.
something. So what is the small thing that you can do?
And for those who for those who live in the UK, there is many, many opportunities that you can plug in, and it is free of charge, to
Mm,
go into some of the certifications. And as Elizabeth said, the minimum as £10.
mm.
Sometimes the professional courses can get very, very expensive, can get very, very expensive.
Yeah, there's a statement in here, right? In the book. Let me just read it out. So the more unrealistic your dream, the
Mm,
more you'll be tempted to depend upon things that you can't control to make it become a reality. The trick is to balance the boldness of dreaming with the reality of your situation. You need to reach far beyond what you think you're capable of. But at the same time, base what you do on your strengths and other factors within your control. So you can't start. I want to say you can't start with nothing. And when I say you can't start with nothing, what I really mean is if you want to grow a grow an apple, if you want to grow apples, you can't start from nothing. You need at least a seed of an apple. So you need something at least to help you get started. Whether it's small or it's big, you need something that can help you get started. So, what do you have within your toolbox? What do you have within your control that you can start with? And can you dare to believe that this thing has potential to grow into what you want it to be? You have to believe and start taking action, start making movement.
I think once you get the foundation right, the idea, putting it on paper, putting being consistent, and also setting personal goals for yourself, how you're going to work this through, getting the required knowledge on how to roll out this dream. And then the bigger task might come, how where are you going to get your finance, and how much of money you need to put in if it's a big project. And then, getting s- people to buy into your dream,
Mhm.
buying into your dream, and then and then getting feedback, whether people will see it and say, some will give very positive feedback, some will give very negative feedback, some just abstain, they will say no, I mean, I can't make much comment. But getting feedback on the idea, I think it's very interesting to hear how people actually articulate what they're thinking.
Mm.
So there is a process that you need to be mindful of, Elizabeth. And I think Elizabeth, I know I'm not very good at this, but I'm very creative in that way. I think Elizabeth, as a coach, you will be able to help people realize the dream, because a lot of people get stuck because they don't know the process.
Mm.
And there is a process that you and I have to follow to unveil, to roll out this dream that has been birthed in your heart, because those seeds must bear fruit.
Absolutely.
It must grow as a plant, and then it must bear fruits. And bearing fruits is that fruits will touch many people's lives.
And
And
I
we are
think
talking about touching lives. Yeah.
the analogy of a plant actually really helps to put it in perspective,
Go
because
for
when
it.
you talk about that seed, and you realize that even when you have a seed and you plant a seed in the ground, it doesn't come up automatically,
Mhm.
because we're in a time where people like quick things. When you start taking action on your dream, it's not about quick results. Sometimes you might have to do just slow, consistent action for a period of time before you start to see the result. Some plants are like that. You plant it, you come tomorrow, it's still not out of the ground. You come the next day, still not out of the ground. You come the day after, still not out of the ground. You need to give it time, but you still keep looking after it. And with the plant, for example, just because you don't yet see it out of the ground doesn't mean you stop watering it. You have to water it with anticipation that something is coming, that something is going on underneath, something is being birthed under the ground that is going to come out and be beautiful and be fruitful.
It's germinating.
Yes, that's the scientific word for it. Yes.
Yes, germinating. And when the seed is germinating, we don't pull out or open up the soil and see, oh, what's happening inside. I know
Take it
sometimes
out.
sometimes people, I mean, I can be very impatient. Sometimes I can throw in the towel. But you know what I've learned over the years is to wait patiently for it to unroll, to come forth as something beautiful at the end. So, and I think with that, I think it ties up very well with the passion. Don't you think so?
Yes, yes, the passion question. That's my favorite question in this book. And I think because you have to realize that if you're not going to be passionate about your dream, who's going to be passionate about it?
Yeah. Who else?
How am I going to buy into your dream if you're not even passionate about it? How? Why should I? You're not invested in it. So that passion question, it's like the fuel, isn't it? Passion is like the fuel that keeps you going. Even when you can't yet see that plant coming out of the ground, the passion will keep you there. It will help you
It's
to stay there.
like the water and the fertilizer, the passion.
That's it. That's
So
it.
see,
And go on, Kirubai.
no, I just thought of the fertilizer and the water. You're watering it, you're fertilizing it, you're weeding it. Sometimes this weeding has to take place because the weeds can choke the um, growth of the plant. So
Mm,
for me, weeding, I would say, is all the negative naysayers that are around.
mm,
And when I was growing up, I always wanted to start my own florist shop
ooh, okay.
because I'm very good with my hands with flowers. And my father refused. He said, "What is wrong with you? Don't leave the bank job and start the flower shop." I said, "No, I would like," but he never, 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 never supported me. And eventually I gave up my bank job to do something creative. He was totally mad with me. Bless him, because they're from the old school. They could
Mm,
never understand. But you know what? Keep the naysayers away. Don't share your dream,
mm.
because they can choke your dream. They are like the thorns that will choke your plants.
You have to find the right people.
Yeah.
If you're going to share your dream, you have to find the right people that you share it with. But I will also say, don't get to the point where you never, ever, ever share your dream with anybody and all you do is keep it to yourself. Because then, how are you going to find opportunities? How are the opportunities going to come to you if you don't even want to share this thing that you're doing? When I started my coaching business, one of the things I had to do was to start sharing and telling people, "Oh, by the way, I'm a coach now. This is what I do. I'm Elizabeth Olujimi, the thriving coach. Hello." I had to start doing that. So I had to start, coming out, so to speak, to tell people, this is what I do. This is what I'm building right now, because I needed buy-in, because I want clients, because the more people I can get in, the more my business is going to thrive. So finding the right people that you can share it with is so important. Now, going to this passion question, right? For me, the question itself, does my dream compel me to follow it? That word compel is such a strong word. Does my dream, it's not does my dream compel me to follow it? And if you look at that word in the dictionary, let me just give it to you now because I have it open here. So compel means to force or oblige someone to do something, to bring about something by the use of force or pressure. So literally, does your dream force you to follow it? So your dream, and this is why I like to say that when you do a vision board, your vision board should literally provoke you to action. Your vision board should wake you up in the morning. Like it should be the thing that kicks you to get started on something. So when we're talking about this passion, when you think about your dream, does it force you into action or does it force you into procrastination? Does it force you into action or does it force you into a place of demotivation? Where
Mhm.
does your dream take you? Is it pushing you to follow it? Is it pressuring you to follow it? That's really an important question for us to ask, because if I'm going to work on my dream, I have to be following this dream. If I want it to become a reality, I have to follow it. And the thing that's going to keep me on that path is me having the passion to see this dream become a reality. If you have no passion, just put it down. Put it down. Because sometimes we are pursuing a dream just because of the money, not necessarily because of the dream in itself. The dream is to have money. But what is the thing that you are going to do that will bring in the money? I remember when I go to school sometimes, I ask these young people, I say, like, what's your dream? What would you like to achieve? And literally 95% of those kids will always say, I want to have loads of money. I want to be a millionaire. And I say, well, okay, that's not a bad dream, but how? Because there are different paths that you can take. So where is the passion, or what are you going to be passionate enough that you're going to pursue that will bring you the finance that you're after, the millions that you're after? And some of them will tell you, oh, I just want to marry a rich man.
Dear. Oh dear. How old are these kids, Elizabeth?
These kids are 15, 16.
15, 16. Whoa, wrong concept. Mind you,
So
mindset.
does your dream compel you to follow it? If it doesn't, please go back and dream again. Go back and dream again.
Yeah, it's wow, that's very staggering. 15, 16, thinking like that. But you know what? If you marry a rich man, so be it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but you know what, that shouldn't be the main focus. We got to let our children, or from young, to cultivate this thought about working with their hands, thinking and dreaming big. As parents, as uncles, aunties, we have a power of influence
Mm,
over our children and our families. So I think trying to get them on the right track. And being passionate, people have to see the energy and excitement that you bring forth when you talk about your dream.
mm-hmm,
And when I speak about myself and the things that I'm doing, if you don't see passion in me, that means then it's something that you need to think about.
mm,
Oh, she's not passionate, she's out to get me. But when the passion comes through, passion always comes through when you are excited about bringing forth your dreams, and you must be committed to your dream.
that's it.
Commitment is so important, because it's not someone else's dream, it is your dream. It can be uniquely tailored for you. You are the only one who has the grace to bring that forth. And that
Mm,
is the gift God has given you and I. Very different, yet, we are blessing the kingdom of God with that dream coming to reality. So, commitment is very, very important. Persevering is something that we always talk in our podcast, being to persevere on the things that are difficult. You know, it's like prayer. Push until something happens.
mm,
Push until something happens, and we have to push and prod and pray and persevere into the things that God has called us to bring forth our
mm.
dream. And I think a lot of times we forget that along the way, the sacrifices we make. Elizabeth, don't you think so?
Every dream will force you to make certain sacrifices.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the questions later on is about sort of the cost question, where you have to really think about what are the things you're willing to give up in pursuit of your dream.
Mm.
Because like you said earlier on, Kirubai, about commitment. Every dream requires commitment. So when you are committing to your dream, certain things are not going to be a priority anymore, and certain sacrifices will have to be made. But when we coming back to this passion, let me just read you something from the book, right? When we
Mhm.
have passion and we allow ourselves to pursue it, it positions us well in life. It sets us up for success.
Mm.
So, passion can set you up for success because you're passionate about something. You're intrigued, you're curious, you want to pursue it because there is a passion. The passion is like the fuel, the driving force. It's like the thing that says, Elizabeth, get up at 5 a.m. because this dream is waiting for you. It's waiting for you to achieve it. Or, so and so is waiting for you because this is part of your dream, making impact, creating influence. That it's part of you achieving your dream. So get up and go. There has to be a passion with what you're doing. Some of us are stuck in jobs, 9 to 5 jobs that we absolutely hate. We wake up on a Monday morning and we're like, oh no, not again. There is no passion. There is no passion. That's not good for you. It's not good.
Drains you.
You have to Find the things that you're passionate about. And that's why, like, even with our children, like, find things that they're passionate about. What are the things they enjoy? What are the things they can do? Like, what are the things they can thrive with, you know? And start to build on that. And there's something that John Maxwell talks about, where he says, like, focus on the things that you're passionate about, that things that are within your strength zone, but don't stay there. Also stretch yourself outside of your comfort zone. So yes, focus on the things that are your strengths, but also stretch yourself. Stretch yourself. And you know, sometimes when people are asking the question about purpose, like, what's my purpose? One of the things I ask is, what are you passionate about? Where is your passion? Because that passion gives me a clue to who you are and what you're about. The things that you're passionate about give you a clue to the problems that you are created to solve. So and like Kirubai said, your passion is evident. Passion is not silent. It is not silent. Passion is evident in your actions. Passion is evident in, you know, if an athlete is passionate about what they do, they're going to put the time in to train. They're going to put the time in to get good at what they do. Your passion is going to be, you don't have to tell somebody that, hey, I'm passionate about this. They will be able to see it. One of the things that I am passionate about is leadership. And one of the ways I knew I'm passionate about leadership is when I start talking about it, there's so much emotion. There is, you know, if it's bad leadership, I'm like, oh, I want to do something about this. When it's good leadership, I'm like, yeah. But that was one where I knew that I was called to leadership. Is this passion? I started to realize, Elizabeth, there's something about you and leadership. You love talking about it. And you hate it when it's not done right. And I'm like, yeah, absolutely. So I knew that that was one area God is calling me into. One area that my purpose is linked to is leadership. So you have to be passionate. If someone came and shared a vision with you and there was no passion, you're not going to be compelled to follow their vision because there's no passion. If they came and they were so dry in the way they presented it, it's like, why? Why? It's like sometimes, and I'm going to sign a disclaimer here, but sometimes you will go somewhere and someone will be delivering a talk and there's no passion in what they're delivering. Like there's no passion in the delivery. And I get it that all speakers are different. We're all unique in our own way. But there has to be something that comes alive when you are doing the thing that you were created to do. There has to be a fire that burns on the inside of you, a fire that is evident, and people can literally, I'm burning with that fire that's on the inside of you. There has to be something. There has to be something. Kirubai, what's up? Have I put too much fire out there?
No, no, no. I think we need the fire, Elizabeth. I think we need the fire. And it's so important that this is this fire is contagious.
It
You know,
is. It is.
yeah, it is contagious. So when you speak, when you smile, when you present, when you communicate, and when you are there, even standing there, and 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 people feeling the fire that you have, it will ignite something within them. I think we are called to be passionate in this area. And not everyone can be keynote speakers. Not everyone can be, they're not called to be talking about, you know, what they're passionate about. But one to one, we can transfer that passion
Mm,
to ignite the fire that is within, and that has to be evident in all of us, man, woman, child. This is how you call yourself, you're leading yourself to success.
mm,
And I would just like to add on something here a little bit of this passion thing. It's like our calling. We all are called. We all have a calling, and we have a destiny. And 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 the fivefold ministry, where the calling is, of course, the apostle, the prophet, pastor, the teacher, the evangelist. So if when you know your calling, you will be passionate in bringing forth that calling to
Mm,
others. And when you are in the wrong lane, you will not have that passion. And I see in these days a lot of people in the church do not answer their call,
mm,
or they're in the wrong calling.
mm,
So, and when you're in the wrong calling, all the fire within you is drained away, because God didn't give you the grace to answer that call.
mm,
So it's also like our dream. If it's someone else's dream and you want to try and drive it, you won't have the passion.
mm.
So don't steal someone else's dream.
And you know what? Sometimes that's a way to tell whether you're in the right place or not. Sometimes, sometimes people ask, how do I know? How do I know? Passion. Where is your passion? Where is your passion? If you're to ask yourself, like, what are the things that I am passionate about? The things that make me smile, the things that rise up on the inside. I remember when this was a couple of years ago, and I was listening to Mike Maddock, and he talks a lot about the assignment and what you're called into. He's a man of a lot of wisdom. He likes his wisdom nuggets. And
I like him too. Yeah.
one of the things he said was, the things that you cry about, the things that stir up, like they nudge you on the inside. That's a problem you're created to solve. The things that make you cry, what breaks your heart, you search yourself, because you have a solution. You have a seed. Because if you think about it, if you had a task and you had two people in front of you, you want to give you're deciding who you need to give this task to. You're going to go with the one that has more passion, because it's most likely that they're going to commit to it. The one that has no passion, you might have strategy, you might have this and that, but there's no joy in what you're doing. And let's get into the habit of encouraging people to, yes, there are passions that might not necessarily, there are passions that you can pursue, and it might not bring the money you want, but in the times that we are living in, you can make money from your passion. You can make money from the things you're passionate about. You can. Honestly, look at people who enjoy talking. There is money to be made in the personal development speaker platform stage. There is money to be made. You know,
Storytelling.
look at people who enjoy like football, who have a passion to work with kids. Like there is money to be made. If it's money you're after, you can marry that with your passion. But it's about how you deliver it. It's how you do it. It's also being smart in the way you make your decisions, the way you connect with people. And really, we all need to ask ourselves that question: what am I passionate about? What
What
am I
brings
passionate?
joy and fulfillment? Sorry, joy and fulfillment. It has to be that the joy that's within it has to be bubbling. And I'm reminded of this a Sunday school song. It's bubbling, it's bubbling, it's bubbling in my soul. So your passion has to be bubbling, so when it's overflow, people can see, oh, this person is so passionate about what they are
Mm,
doing. That passion has to churn the internal motivation that you have, because nobody is going to stand around you and motivate you. You have to be the greatest motivator for yourself,
mm,
to motivate. Sometimes it's tough, but yet, you know there is someone who motivates you, and that, when for me, it is the Holy Spirit all the time. Every time I want to close a chapter on something, God wants to it's something that I've started because it's too difficult. And the Holy Spirit says, I'm here with you. I'm your helper, and I'm your comforter. So This your internal motivator is the Holy Spirit. You might find some good friends to motivate you, and sometimes your coaches and your mentor, they are there to motivate you.
Mm,
So motivation is very, very important to fire up your passion.
I like that. I like that. But you know, motivation can run out, right? There's some people that are like, I'm lacking motivation today. And this is where passion really helps.
Yeah.
Because even when you're not motivated, when the passion is there, you will find a way to encourage yourself. You will find a way to say, yes, Elizabeth, you might not be feeling motivated today, but remember, you're passionate about this thing. So get up and do something because your dream is compelling you to follow it. You're passionate enough about this topic. You're passionate about, this area. You're passionate about making a difference, and it compels you. And the thing about passion is that passion, like when you follow this passion, you're always looking for a way through. When there's an obstacle, you don't see the obstacle, you just see it as another opportunity for you to find another route. That passion helps you to stay committed, helps you to be tenacious, helps you to look beyond the obstacles, because guess what, when you're pursuing your dream, there will be obstacles around the way. Like there will be
Mm.
obstacles on the path. You go here, they'll say no. You turn there, they'll say no. They'll say sorry, we can't. But because you're passionate about it, you won't give up. You will keep knocking on every single door you need to knock on until you get the answer that you need. Passion will push you to create your own table because you're not getting room on other tables. Passion will say, hey, this is not something to be silent about. Go create your table. Passion will do that to you. Passion will push you from a place of inaction to a place of action.
Action. Yeah.
Passion will compel you to do the things that you're scared of doing, to do the things that you're afraid of doing. Because sometimes we say, I'm afraid. I don't know how they're gonna take it. I don't know. But passion will encourage you, will be the fire and the fuel that says, go on, Elizabeth, you can do it. Because passion is driving you. When we are passionate, we might not always have the right systems in place, but with that passion, we sit down and we allow discipline, we allow systems, and we can better achieve the things that we want to achieve. But a passion is going to give you longevity. Passion in that dream helps you to stay the course of time, helps you to wait for the harvest instead of rushing the process.
Trust the process. Trust the process. So important to trust the process and don't give up on that dream because there's something that's going to be birthed that's within you that's already been birthed. It is time to bring forth in the fullness for such a time as this.
Mm. And you know what, Kirubai? Sometimes you just have to get into the right environment to stir up your passion.
Mm.
Sometimes you just need to get into the right environment, get around the right people, and you start to realize, ooh, actually, this is an area that I'm passionate about. Because sometimes we are in our own little corners, in our own little worlds, we're not exposed.
Mm.
And because we're not, we keep saying, oh, I'm not passionate about this, I'm not. But put in the right environment, and we shall
You get
see you
stirred.
coming alive.
You get stirred.
That's it. When Elizabeth and Mary met, the babies on the inside of them
Leaped.
leaped.
Leaped with joy.
That's what passion does. When you get around the people, when you get around your people, there is something that is jumping on the inside of you because you're stirred.
Excuse
Passion.
me.
Passion. So the two questions we talked about, the reality, the passion.
Passion. Yeah. And next week, we're going to speak about the pathway question. Do you and I have a strategy to reach for our dreams? And the people questions. How and how do I include the people I need to realize my dream?
That's
So we're going
important.
to speak about these 2 points next week. So don't forget to join us.
And like we said, if you haven't read the book, go order the book so you can just come and chip into the conversation. But if you're
Yes,
watching this on replay, please put a comment. Let's know where you're watching from. Let's engage with you. Help us share, like, subscribe. We want to take these conversations as far as we can take them, so to speak. Right? There is no limit. There is no limit. So we're grateful. Thank you for being part of the confidence culture journey. Thank you for tapping into our dream and being part of the journey to making it a reality.
that's right.
I think that is it for the night, Kirubai. Yeah.
Yes, that is for the night. There's a lot of things to digest, and I hope and we hope that we had made some sense of these questions that we are posing today. Till then, we'll see you next week. Have a good night, a good evening, or someplace you might be. It is morning already. So I'll see you next week. Bye for now.
God bless you.